Have you ever wondered why we excel at absorbing knowledge, yet no one teaches us how to think correctly? In a world overflowing with information, we are like empty bowls brimming with data, but lacking the method to filter and apply it wisely. Today, we will explore how Stoicism, a philosophy over 2,000 years old, can teach you how to think, helping you overcome pressure and live with self-mastery. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This statement not only reminds us of our inner power, but also ignites the desire to master our thoughts and control our emotions in the face of any circumstance. Through the Stoic lens, each challenge no longer becomes a raging wave sweeping us away, but an opportunity to strengthen our will and character. And the best part? After this video, you will have 10 Stoic thinking principles to apply immediately in your life, helping you shape a mindset of self-discipline, stand firm under pressure, and build a serene, meaningful existence. Let's begin the journey to discover Stoic thinking right now. Number 1, distinguish between what is within your control and what is beyond your control. Have you ever poured your heart and soul into an important project, only to have the outcome fall short of your expectations, leaving you endlessly blaming yourself? In fact, more than 2,000 years ago, the philosopher Epictetus pointed out that the key to avoiding the spiral of regret is to clearly distinguish between what lies within our control and what lies outside our control. When you understand that only your own attitude, perspective, and actions truly belong to you, you free yourself from the invisible burden of things you cannot change. Let Epictetus breathe fresh air into your thinking with his timeless reminder. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This statement is like a guiding lighthouse, reminding you that every external event, whether praise or criticism, spectacular success or crushing failure, does not define who you are. The only thing you truly master is the way you choose to receive and respond to them. Have you ever received hundreds of no's yet persisted in pursuing your dream? Sara Blakely exemplifies focusing only on what you can control. While working as a sales representative, she nurtured the idea of shaping undergarments to boost women's confidence. But she faced hundreds of rejection letters when she knocked on manufacturers' doors. Instead of sitting around and complaining, Sara asked herself, "What can I do to turn no into yes?" She taught herself the manufacturing process, researched materials, and went to factories to test each prototype. Every day, Sara devoted time to perfecting her design, from cutting fabric so it hugged the body to choosing specialized tape for invisible seams, driven by the belief that her effort was within her control. In the end, Spanx was born, not only solving a real need, but becoming a billion-dollar phenomenon that opened doors for millions of women. This reminds you that no matter how many obstacles stand in your way, you still have the right and the ability to shape your attitude, persevere in your actions, and turn dreams into reality. You can apply the same principle in your daily life. Instead of bracing yourself for your boss's criticism or the pressure of looming deadlines, pause to take a deep breath and ask, what part of this situation is within my control? You can fully control how you plan, adjust your work methods, and receive feedback. The final result, or others' reactions, is something you cannot force. Accepting this limit will make you feel lighter and help you focus on positive action. Interestingly, letting go of needless worries actually awakens and empowers you like never before. You will discover a vast inner resource, perseverance, patience, and the ability to steer yourself through any storm. Whenever a tough situation arises, instead of losing your cool, ask yourself, what can I do right now to improve things? That question becomes your test, training you to master your mind. Furthermore, as you practice this distinction regularly, you'll find that negative emotions no longer overwhelm you. You'll learn to shift from confusion and helplessness to calmness and clarity. Imagine that before, even the slightest criticism could keep you up at night. Now, you simply acknowledge it, learn from it, and move forward. That is the power of understanding your sphere of control. In conclusion, the first principle of Stoic thinking is not an abstract piece of advice, but a practical tool for living with autonomy and resilience in the face of any storm. Remember, you may not choose your circumstances, but you always choose how you respond. In that choice, you find freedom and enduring strength. Number 2, practice inner self-examination. Every morning, when you wake up each morning, do you pause for a moment to look yourself in the eye and ask, what is the worst that could happen today? According to Marcus Aurelius, this is not pointless pessimism, but a powerful mental exercise that prepares you in advance for the bumps and disappointments that may lie ahead. Begin each day by telling yourself, today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil. By doing so, you not only fortify your mind, but also create an invisible shield that reduces your fear of the future and broadens your capacity to endure. Imagine walking into a meeting to present, fully aware that no one can guarantee the equipment will cooperate. The projector might flicker, the power could cut out, or the internet might simply vanish. Rather than letting those mishaps throw you off balance, spend a few minutes listing your worst-case scenarios. What if the projector fails? What if the slides don't display? What if the microphone crackles? Then plan your responses. Bring printed handouts of your slides. Carry spare batteries. Be ready to tell your story using only your body language. When things go wrong, you'll stand firm because you've already convinced yourself you're ready for anything. This mental preparation gives you control. Self-reflection is not an obsession with disaster, but the perfect lens through which you recognize the value of every moment. Once you've rehearsed the worst scenarios, even minor obstacles seem smaller, and your heart feels infinitely lighter. What's more, you'll discover that no matter what happens, you remain calm because you've trained your mind to act proactively rather than react passively. The sense of strength you gain each morning will ripple through your entire day. You may wonder whether you can sustain this habit. The answer lies in the power of visualizing worst-case scenarios and preparing your spirit. In that moment, you courageously admit you are not superhuman. Yet it is precisely through that humility that you begin to foresee challenges and always keep backup plans within reach. And when everything goes smoothly, you breathe easier because the pressure has been placed on your preparation, not on unpredictable events. You can turn this reflective ritual into an indispensable habit. Set your alarm 5 minutes earlier. Close your eyes. Train your mind for any storm. Each morning, picture yourself donning an invisible suit of armor, crafted by your preparation and your courage to face every possibility. You will feel your soul grow steadier, no longer shaken by unexpected trials. This is how Stoicism, a philosophy more than 2,000 years old, teaches you not just to live with self-mastery, but to live fully in each moment. Self-reflection is not merely a thought exercise. It is the key to unlocking inner peace. When you focus on controlling what you can, you stop being paralyzed by what you can't. From preparing for worst-case scenarios to seizing the lessons in every challenge, principle number 2 has equipped you with a steadfast mental shield. Now that you are prepared each morning to take charge of your mindset, let's explore the next principle. Armed with this powerful discipline, you will learn not only to accept, but to embrace every experience, sweet or sour, and turn it into a springboard for personal growth. Number 3, amor fati, love your fate. Have you ever wondered why some people don't merely endure hardship, but learn to cherish and embrace their own struggles as inseparable parts of life? This is the spirit of amor fati, the love of fate. A concept rooted in Stoic philosophy. It teaches not only to accept every experience, even suffering, but to learn to love and give thanks for those very challenges. From the opening pages of Beyond Good and Evil, Nietzsche insists that the truly great person is one who can embrace both the beauty and the thorns of their life. For only by loving one's fate can we free ourselves from resentment and regret. In fact, this principle was not Nietzsche's invention. Stoic philosophers over 2 millennia ago recognized that our attitude toward events determines the quality of our lives. As Seneca reminded us, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. That concise yet powerful maxim serves not merely as encouragement, but as a guiding star, showing us that, if seen rightly, suffering will sharpen our will and train our minds like brilliant notes in life's grand symphony. When we learn to welcome the storms raging within, we can fly into them without fear of breaking wings, for it is the very struggle that forges stronger wings. Imagine Frida Kahlo, Mexico's brilliant painter, struck by a catastrophic bus accident at 18. The overturned vehicle shattered her pelvis and spine, inflicting unbearable pain and necessitating countless surgeries. Rather than submit to fate, Frida transformed each pang of agony into boundless inspiration. With her easel set beside her hospital bed, she painted herself in the brightest hues, a body broken, yet a spirit soaring. Every canvas became a bold proclamation of inner strength. She reminded herself, "Feet, what do I need you for when I have wings to fly?" This declaration not only affirms the power to transcend circumstances, but invites each of us to explore the depths of our untapped potential. Thanks to amor fati, Frida didn't just survive. She left a fierce artistic legacy, teaching us that when you love your fate, even your most brutal wounds can become the wings that lift you higher. From her story, we learn that amor fati is not passive resignation, but an active choice to set sail against the wind. Faced with crushing deadlines, you can treat them as levers to boost productivity. In the midst of relational conflict, you can see it as an opportunity to cultivate patience and empathy. More than anything, loving your fate transforms fear and anger into powerful fuel, driving every step of your journey towards self-improvement. Finally, amor fati reminds us that life is not a flawless stretch of perfect days, but a vibrant mosaic in which every crack and crevice adds its unique touch. Only when we learn to love those very cracks can we perceive the true nature of happiness and meaning. So don't merely learn to accept difficulties. Let your heart truly love them, as patient teachers guiding you to the inner strength you have yet to discover. Let amor fati be your companion, turning every challenge into a springboard toward the best version of yourself. Number 4, separate your emotions and actions. When anger surges, instead of letting it sweep you into an endless spiral of negativity, pause. Count to 10, Then pick up a pen and write down every thought and feeling boiling inside you. Soon, you'll realize that you always have the power to choose a more mature response. Authenticity isn't measured by how explosively you react, but by the restraint that proves you're in control of your mind. It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our perception of them. Only when we understand that emotions are simply our body's natural reactions to specific situations, and not the same as our actions, can we separate what we feel from how we act. So why is this separation so crucial? Because every time we let emotion overpower reason, we hand over our power to fleeting feelings and become their victims. In anger, we speak words we can never take back. In disappointment, we wound ourselves with our own negativity. By learning to listen to our emotions without letting them control our actions, we create space to consider and evaluate each option clearly and make wiser decisions. The first step is recognizing your emotion. When your heart races, your breath quickens, and your mind locks onto a single thought, give yourself permission to slow down. Jot down notes, sketch a mind map, or even whisper to yourself, "I'm angry," to trace the source of your fury. Next comes the separation phase. Give your emotion a private space to be expressed, without allowing it to take control. Finally, when reason returns, act with a calm, clear-headed mindset to avoid regrettable consequences. At work, you may face harsh criticism. Instead of reacting quickly or silently enduring it, take time to write out your thoughts about the feedback. This not only helps you stay composed, but also opens the door to learning, adapting, and responding constructively. In daily life, when conflict arises with loved ones, separating emotion from action prevents hurtful words and protects meaningful relationships. Stoicism teaches us to view emotions as temporary guests, not rulers of our inner home. By practicing the separation of emotion and action, we not only master our immediate reactions, but also cultivate patience, clarity, and compassion. This is the inner strength that Seneca and other Stoic philosophers sought to pass down to us. Now, I'd love to hear from you. The next time you felt angry or stressed, did you try pausing and separating your emotions from your actions? Share your experiences or questions in the comments below so we can learn together and strengthen our ability to master the mind every day. Number 5, practice keeping your silence. Have you ever witnessed a heated argument where a few careless words ignite the atmosphere like a blaze, and in that fleeting moment, you regret having snapped back so quickly? In Stoic philosophy, the principle of keeping silence isn't merely about not speaking. It's about finding the stillness between stimulus and response, the place where you truly hold inner freedom. When you embrace life in all its turbulence, that is the moment you pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, is this word necessary? Does it add value, or is it just an emotional reflex? Let's look at Scott's story, a young manager at a tech company in Silicon Valley. During a project meeting, Scott was publicly criticized by his superior over a technical mistake. In the past, he would have reacted strongly, raising his voice, lashing out with harsh words, and straining relationships with his colleagues even further. But this time, Scott applied the Stoic principle of keeping your silence. Rather than immediately defending himself, he inhaled deeply, observed in silence, and after a few seconds, responded gently. "Thank you for the feedback, boss. I'll review the issue and find a way to fix it." From that moment, the tone of the meeting softened. Mutual respect was restored, and the project proceeded smoothly. As Epictetus taught us, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This reminder isn't just to listen to others, but to actively listen to ourselves before we speak. Imagine if you always let slip hasty words. You'd lose the crucial opportunity to understand yourself more deeply, to grasp the true message you want to convey, and to sense the needs of your counterpart. In contrast, when you keep silent, you reveal an open inner space where reason and emotion converge, where you master yourself instead of being swept away by waves of anger or shame. More importantly, that silence isn't timidity or hesitation. It's proof of strength. Before you learn to speak, you've learned to listen and empathize. Before you respond, you've considered the consequences and chosen the most fitting words. As a result, you not only preserve your relationship with the listener, but also earn greater respect, building an image of steadfast calm. Reflect on the moment. Before Stoic practice, you might have been enraged, uncontrolled, divisive. After Stoic practice, you remain composed, display wisdom, and make your counterpart willing to listen. Thus, cultivating the space between stimulus and response is more than a communication tactic. It's the foundation of inner freedom. When you keep silence, you grant yourself the power of choice, choosing the right action, meaningful words, and an appropriate attitude. Over time, you'll confidently face any situation without fear of being carried away by emotion. And in that very tranquility, you will find your most resilient strength. Thank you for accompanying us halfway through the 5th principle. Stay tuned for Principle 6, where we'll learn how to face and cherish the unknown. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that each week you take another step forward on your journey to sharpen your own Stoic mindset. Number 6, accept the uncertainty of life. In truth, awareness of life's finitude makes the human spirit more expansive. Instead of letting your heart drift amidst pointless worries, you learn to anchor yourself in the here and now. Once you realize you cannot hold on to any moment forever, you devote your full attention to what is unfolding, freeing your mind from clinging to the past or the future. As Epictetus emphasized, don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and you will go on well. This saying not only advises us to let go of unreasonable desires, but also urges us to merge with the natural flow of the universe, where every event has its own reason. So how do we truly cultivate the mindset to accept life's uncertainty? Begin with a brief meditation each morning. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and imagine waking up one day, uncertain whether everything remains as it was yesterday. Picture yourself departing this world by nightfall. Then ask, if tomorrow never comes, have I truly lived to the fullest? Though this thought may feel heavy, paradoxically, it brings liberation. When you learn to cherish the present, you no longer squander a single second on trivial pursuits. In the stillness of meditation, you realize that the fear of loss springs only from excessive attachment. If you love someone, you do not hold them with invisible bonds. Instead, you grant them freedom and love yourself more. Willingly acknowledging that everything will pass does not make you pessimistic. It encourages you to live more fully. You share meals with gratitude, converse with friends wholeheartedly, and savor each sunset without rushing off to the next engagement. Moreover, embracing uncertainty helps you respond flexibly to adversity. When plans collapse, you remain calm and seek a new path. When something is lost, you do not cling to regret, but welcome the lesson and move forward. This is the Stoic spirit, viewing hardships as material for fortitude, transforming challenges into opportunities to strengthen your will. Ultimately, You will see yourself not as a victim of fate, but as an artist who paints life's canvas with skilled strokes. Each morning, remind yourself of memento mori, not to brood over mortality, but to awaken. Today is a precious gift, so let no moment slip away in vain. By applying the sixth Stoic principle, accepting impermanence, you not only learn to stay serene amid storms, but also uncover the latent power within you, enough to overcome any trial and cherish every breath of life. Number 7, set internal goals instead of external ones. James once chased an ideal physique as though it were the sole measure of success, only to forget that true peace comes from loving the process of training itself. Instead of berating himself each time he looked in the mirror and failed to see sharply defined muscles, he decided to let go of the burden of achievement and focus wholly on each morning run. The feeling of his breath finding a steady rhythm, sweat trickling down his forehead, and the echo of passing car tires along a quiet street all became opportunities for James to understand his body better and to thank God for granting him health and motivation each day. From James's story, you can clearly see the difference between an external goal and an internal one. When we pour all our energy into the outcome, how many kilograms we shed, how much fat we burn, or the admiration of others, the pressure only mounts. By contrast, when we prioritize the experience, daily progress, and gratitude to God for the journey we're on, every morning we wake up becomes a precious gift. You don't run to prove yourself to the world, but to honor the love that the Creator has bestowed upon you through your body and strength. Indeed, God has instilled in us the instinct to strive forward, but He also wants us to understand that the journey itself is a blessing. When you pray before stepping out the door, you're not simply asking for a sculpted physique. You're thanking Him for giving you sturdy legs to conquer each stride. Rather than obsessing over results and feeling frustrated when you haven't reached them, allow yourself to be immersed in the companionship of faith, in sync with your breath and your footfalls. That is the internal goal that transforms every run into a hymn of God's love and grace. Setting an internal goal also helps sustain lasting motivation when challenges arise. Have you ever wondered why so many people burn bright for a few weeks and then give up? It's because they tie their success to external standards or praise from friends. When the applause dies down, so does their spirit. Conversely, when you silently thank God each time you hit a small milestone, even if it's just another kilometer or feeling your legs a little lighter, the joy that springs from within keeps your passion alive. God is that inner light guiding you so you never lose your way, even in the fiercest storm. Moreover, God teaches us the value of patience and humility. When you aim for an internal goal, you learn to appreciate your progress, to celebrate your honest efforts rather than any flashy achievement. You realize that self-improvement is not a destination, but a lifelong journey. You pray not only to ask for blessings, but to cultivate gratitude for every heartbeat, every muscle still in motion, and for each new day as an invaluable gift. So if you yearn for change, shift your focus from "I must achieve this" to "I am experiencing this." Let your simple morning prayer become the declaration of your internal goal. Lord, grant me gratitude for every step I take. In doing so, the sweetness of success depends not on measurable outcomes, but on the quality of the journey you build each day. And you will come to see that with each breath, God is smiling because you have learned to love the path He has laid before you. Number 8, community over individual. Do you know the story of Lucius Quintus Cincinnatus, the humble Roman farmer who was summoned in haste to save the Republic of Rome in its hour of crisis. Though he reigned in glory as dictator for a day, his tenure was brief. The moment victory was secured, he relinquished power and returned to plow his fields and share a simple meal with his wife and children. That act stands not only as proof of service to the community, but also as a vivid expression of Stoic philosophy. Community over individual. We are not lone islands, but members of a larger body, citizens of the cosmos. From Cincinnatus's example, we learn that Stoicism does not demand self-denial, but rather emphasizes responsibility to the collective. When Epictetus taught his students, he reminded them, "Remember that you were born not only for yourself, but to contribute to society and the world around you." It is that very responsibility that transforms every action into a link with others, turning personal will into shared strength. Have you ever felt the power of a united group? When a neighborhood bands together to clear debris after a storm, the fatigue melts into joy through shared effort. When you write an article on Stoic philosophy and receive heartfelt thanks from a stranger, you truly grasp the value of community. Stoicism urges you not to retreat into your own world, but to open your heart and join the cosmic community, where faith and support flow back to you. Why is community so vital? Because none of us was born to be an isolated island. Every thought and action, however small, creates ripples. A word of encouragement sparks hope. An act of sharing builds a bridge between hearts. When you place the common good above the self, you unleash tremendous energy, living better yourself while spreading the Stoic spirit to all. And you can start making a difference today. Ask yourself, how can I help those around me? Perhaps it's taking 5 minutes to truly listen to a friend, or pitching in to support a charity. No matter how modest the act, it helps build a resilient community where each individual is valued and upheld. From following Cincinnatus's lead to applying these principles in your work and daily life, you'll discover that living for the community is not merely a duty, but an endless source of motivation. For when I stand strong, we all stand strong. When you share, the whole group thrives. In that connection lies the true meaning of life. So what do you think about the Stoic ideal of community over individual? Share your experiences or ideas in the comments below. Your story may ignite inspiration in others, and whatever its scale, every act for the community deserves our deepest respect. I look forward to reading your thoughts. Number 9, voluntary discomfort. Have you ever wondered why we so often shy away from uncomfortable situations, even though those very moments are our greatest opportunities to forge willpower and resilience? Principle 9 is Seneca's powerful reminder that sometimes, to become truly strong, you must be willing to step outside your comfort zone and embrace brief inconveniences as an essential part of your personal growth journey. Imagine waking up each morning, before flicking on the light or brewing a hot cup of coffee, ready for a small challenge, a cold water shower. At first, the icy blast will make you shiver and your heart race, tempting you to retreat to that familiar warmth. Yet, after sticking with it just a few times, you'll discover that those few seconds under the cold stream trigger a cascade of positive effects. Better circulation, instant mental clarity, and a quiet sense of pride for having conquered yourself. From that point on, you'll start each day with more confidence and energy than ever before. The true value of voluntary discomfort isn't self-punishment. It's the striking contrast between before and after when you apply Stoic practice. Previously, you might have crumbled under minor pressures, a harsh email, an unexpected deadline, or even an unplanned phone call. But by cultivating small hardships, cold showers, walking with ankle weights, or eating a basic meal one evening, you give yourself the chance to experience discomfort. Then observe your body's and mind's reactions. Recognize the instinct to flee or lash out, and gradually master those impulses. You'll realize that after having endured biting cold, those everyday irritations hardly seem frightening. You begin to understand that suffering is not an enemy, but a strict teacher. Every time you push through a moment of discomfort, you lay another solid brick in the foundation of your will. Moreover, you expand your capacity not only for physical tolerance but for mental endurance, equipping yourself to face life's storms more effectively. The ancient Stoics didn't seek hardship to torture themselves. They saw the value in voluntarily facing the uncomfortable as a way to build steadfastness. In doing so, they learned to accept and even cherish difficult moments, because in these moments, they held the reins of their own reactions, rather than letting emotions and circumstances control them. So, are you willing to challenge yourself starting today? Begin with a cold water shower. Just once is enough to reveal your hidden strength. You can apply the principle of voluntary discomfort to any area of your life: work, study, or personal relationships. And in a short time, you won't be an empty vessel merely receiving knowledge. You will become an active agent, ready to turn every challenge into an opportunity for growth. Now that you've grown accustomed to chosen discomfort, steel yourself to conquer new heights. Let me share the final secret in this Stoic journey. How can you keep examining and fine-tuning your thoughts daily, even when everything seems stable? Stay tuned for the next installment to discover the final step on the path to Stoic mastery. Number 10. Continuously check and adjust your thinking. Imagine a sunset atop a mountain, where a seasoned swordsman like Miyamoto Musashi sits quietly by a crackling fire. His gaze never leaves the small notebook in his hands, each line recording battles fought, every strike that succeeded, alongside the fatal mistakes. In the silence, Musashi believes that a warrior's journey does not end with sharpening the blade, but lies in honing oneself. Learn until old age, teach until death. His story stands as a vivid testament to the 10th Stoic principle: continuously questioning and refining one's own thoughts. From Musashi's example, we recognize that thinking is not a static tool. Rather, it demands the same active, disciplined effort as physical training. By maintaining the habit of challenging yourself, you open the door to uncover gaps in your logic and unearth unconscious beliefs that may be holding back your resolve. Instead of accepting every concept as absolute truth, you learn to ask, is this perspective truly objective? Or am I letting my emotions run the show? Thus, every experience, whether triumphant or disappointing, becomes precious material for sharpening your mind and broadening your vision. Building on that philosophy, you can adopt a simple yet powerful method. Keep a weekly Stoic journal. Each Sunday, devote time to listing 3 situations where you successfully applied Stoic principles, and 3 moments when you felt you failed or hesitated. Writing it down not only illuminates your growth, but also invites deeper analysis. Why did strategy A work? What caused strategy B to fall short? Once identified, draw up a concrete plan to adjust, whether that means shifting your viewpoint, changing how you respond to emotion, or practicing a new skill. In that process, you're continuously monitoring and updating yourself. Much like the swordsman honing his blade, each stroke makes the edge keener. Moreover, the habit of self-scrutiny needn't stop at journaling. You might share your findings with a trusted companion to gain an outside perspective, or use study tools like flashcards to review Stoic tenets and test your understanding. Gradually, you'll notice a profound shift. Your mind grows more agile, your self-awareness heightens, and you become less susceptible to negative emotions or outdated assumptions. When thoughtful inquiry becomes a continuous check and adjust routine, you move from passively receiving information to actively crafting the meaning of your own life. And like Miyamoto Musashi, you come to understand that the journey of self-improvement never ends, only advances, refines, and prepares you to face every challenge with self-mastery and unwavering Stoic resolve. To wrap up, we've journeyed through 10 powerful Stoic thinking principles, distinguishing what's within your control from what's not. Morning self-examination, loving your fate with amor fati, separating emotions from actions, practicing mindful silence, embracing life's uncertainty, setting internal rather than external goals, prioritizing community, welcoming voluntary discomfort, and continuously checking and adjusting your thoughts. Each principle equips you with a clear mindset shift to face daily challenges with genuine resilience, clarity, and inner calm. Your journey toward a more rational life starts here. Now it's your turn. Pick one principle that resonates with you and apply it right now. Maybe pause before reacting, or list out a worst-case scenario before a big meeting. Then come back here and share your experience in the comments. You never know who you may inspire. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep sharpening your thinking with Stoicism. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.